What's up, world? Uko here from Better Therapy Now, and welcome to lesson 6 of the curiosity mindset. So, in this lesson, we're really going to focus on a shift in really perspective, and that is from being defensive to being more exploratory in your one on one interactions and conversations with people. You want to focus on finding the best solutions in debates, regardless of who gets there first. And ultimately, you want to enhance your ability to do three things: be more curious, be more open minded, and be more willing to change. So, being right means winning, and getting it right means insight. And that's what we want. We want insight. Think of the conversational exercise as a sort of collaboration. Now, what is the value in a collaboration? Well, one, you gain greater insight about yourself. Think of the conversations that you have with people, especially when you're having conversation with the same person multiple times. You guys are building rapport. Think of that as being in a forest and or being in the forest of your internal self, and you're trying to discover areas of yourself that you couldn't find alone. You're discovering the unknown unknowns about yourself. Next, it improves your ability to problem solve. When you collaborate with somebody else and you think of a conversation as a sort of collaboration, problems tend to surface naturally, and your ability to develop an action plan for those problems improves if you're with somebody else. But a lot of the times people become defensive because the other person begins to throw out solutions. And it's almost like unsolicited advice, but we want to remain open-minded about that so that we can kind of expose ourselves and truly consider all the possibilities in terms of action plans. Next, it enhances your emotional validation, and it enhances the emotional validation that you experience. And when you experience more emotional validation from somebody else, somebody who actually understands your issues or just expresses that they understand those issues, it decreases your chances of depression and increases your sense of self-worth. Once you commit to the curiosity mindset, you're committing to several things. You're committing to growth. In intellectual growth specifically, you're committing to wisdom, but you're also committing to failure and rejection because that is just part of the process. Ask yourself, why don't people like discussing things like politics or religion a lot of the times? It's not because they're worried about tempers flaring. It's really because they're worried about this sense of failure and rejection and the possibility of that, because you're putting your most vulnerable thoughts and beliefs out bare. Debate plays a role in all conversations. The structure of a conversation is that of a sport, even if it's two people trying to be kind. Passive aggressiveness is often conversational, and that's born from kind conversations. Even when people are trying to be nice to each other, they tend to fall into this sort of competitive being nicer than the other person. So you have to accept that conversation is inherently competitive no matter what you try to do with it. And once you kind of accept that, then you can better engage in the tug of war between being defensive of beliefs that you hold and the necessity and inevitability of change once you find out that something that you once believed might not be correct. The worksheet in this lesson requires you to really be mindful and think about how attached are you to your ideas, because ultimately you don't want to become too attached to your ideas in a way that's unhealthy and prevents any sort of flexibility or the possibility of changes. The worksheet's called Exploratory Attachment to Ideas. And what you're doing is identifying an idea in the beginning, which is going to be the hardest part, because you want to identify an idea that you're pretty strongly attached to. And select an idea that you have confidence in. For example, the meaning of success is blank. Like the meaning of success is money, or blank is everything to me. For example, family is everything to me. This will ultimately increase your value in the world because you'll be able to better argue the beliefs that you have. Other people will be able to learn from your defense of your ideas and develop a sense of the nuances of why you believe those ideas. But remember that truth is the objective here, and that it's natural for humans to have blind spots. So you're kind of expecting that there are some blind spots in the things that you believe, and you want to discover those things and be very skeptical or analyze those blind spots. Next, you're going to explore the impact of your beliefs or your ideas. And specifically, you're going to explore and kind of draw out the risks associated with being too attached to those ideas. Next, you're going to challenge and then reframe the idea. So the process might look something like this. The idea is success means making a lot of money, or it means having a lot of wealth. What's the impact of that idea? Well, maybe some of the good things are that it pushes you to work really hard, but when you don't make a lot of money or you don't reach your financial goals, you feel depressed or you feel worthless. So a pretty big negative aspect to it. Then you're going to challenge that idea. So some of the challenges might be that, okay, society praises people who make a lot of money, but what are some of the alternatives? Success could be having children, or defined as chasing your passions, or maybe a combination of both of those. Once you identify that, then you reframe it. Success can be defined in many ways beyond financial goals, such as having children or pursuing your passions. You want to have a healthy grip on your ideas so that you can maintain growth and continue growing. But you don't want to be loose. You don't want to change your ideas every single day. You have to have a healthy grip. And the only way to have that is to really do the work to where you deserve a healthy grip. And you do that work through a constant exploration of your ideas, challenging those ideas, and then reframing them. And this requires a mindset of curiosity. If you continue doing this, if you continue exploring your ideas, especially with other people, not just by yourself, reframing those ideas after challenging them, you're going to have a sort of power in your intellectual ability and your ability to articulate your ideas. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about the power of intellectual humility.